The hikers who survived the impossible storm. In 2026, a dramatic survival story from United States went viral after a young hiker survived one of the most dangerous mountain emergencies ever reported. It happened in the snowy region of Wyoming, where sudden weather changes can turn a normal hike into a life-threatening situation. A 27-year-old man named Jason Miller had set out on a solo hiking trip in the mountains. He was experienced, well prepared, and confident. The weather forecast showed the clear skies, so he decided to climb higher to enjoy the view and take photos. At first, everything was perfect. The sky was blue, the air was fresh, and the mountains looked peaceful. But in the mountains, weather can change without warning. Within a few minutes, dark clouds started forming, strong winds picked up, and the temperature dropped rapidly. Jason realized something was wrong and decided to head back down, but it was already too late. A sudden snowstorm hit. Visibility dropped to almost zero. The path he had taken was completely covered with snow. Every direction looked the same, just white, cold, and endless. Jason tried to use his phone, but there was no signal. Now he was lost. As the storm became stronger, his body started to freeze. His gloves became wet, his fingers numb, and his breathing heavy. Walking became the harder with every step. Panic started building, but he knew panic would waste energy. So he stopped and made a survival decision. Instead of wandering blindly, Jason found a small rocky area and took shelter behind it to block the wind. He used his backpack as insulation and wrapped himself in extra clothing layer. He also used a whistle he carried to the signal for help at arrival. Hours passed, the storm did not stop. Jason started feeling sleepy, which is extremely dangerous in the freezing condition. He kept moving his finger and toes slightly to avoid freezing completely. He also melted small amounts of snow in bottles to stay hydrated. By nightfall, the temperature dropped even further. The storm became harsher, and Jason realized he might not survive another night. But he did not give up. He remembered a survival technique: stay visible and conserve energy. So he used his flashlight and torch burst. Instead of keeping it continuously, he also stayed as still as possible to reduce body heat loss. On the second day, rescue teams were already searching after his family reported him missing. Helicopters and ground teams scanned the mountain, but the storm made it extremely difficult. Jason, meanwhile, was barely moving. Then he heard it, a faint sound of helicopter. They had seen him. Rescue team quickly coordinated and reached his location once the weather allowed. Jason was airlifted out, suffering from severe hypothermia but alive. Doctor later said his arrival was remarkable. In such conditions, many people do not last more than a few hours without shelter or rescue. Jason later said, I was not the strongest or fastest at that day. I just refused to panic.